We will now go, I believe, to Senator Hirono, if she is ready.
Ready.
Okay.
This is a question for Mr. Kelly. Earlier this month, Congress, as we all know, passed the American Rescue Plan Act, and particularly focusing on supporting small businesses, including the Community Navigator program for underserved businesses. And Congress has enacted a number of relief programs over the last year, and we need to make sure that businesses know what resources are available to them, and that's one of the purposes of the Navigator program. Can you provide an update on the implementation of the Community Navigator program?
So, Senator, I know that for Administrator Guzman, this is a key priority. However, I do not oversee this particular part of ARP's implementation at SBA. But I would encourage you to seek out my colleague, Mark Madrid, and the Office of Entrepreneurial Development, who will be overseeing those efforts.
Perhaps I could send my questions relating to the Navigator program to the people that you mentioned, and they will respond to me, because it is really important that they reach out to underserved communities, such as Native Hawaiian businesses. And I'm very interested to know how they plan to reach out to other underserved businesses. Again, for you, Mr. Kelly, I mean, there's no question that there has been an ongoing effort by the Republicans to defund Planned Parenthood at every turn. That is a fact. So you have been asked a number of questions along those lines relating to Planned Parenthood. And let's face it, the previous administration's ideological efforts to treat certain nonprofits differently, such as Planned Parenthood, raises a lot of concerns for us. And last year, SBA sent letters to local Planned Parenthood organizations making, quote unquote, preliminary conclusions of ineligibility for PPP based on supposed violations of the program's affiliation rules. Here's the thing, while other similarly situated nonprofits did not receive such letters. So for example, as far as I know, YMCAs didn't get such letters. Boys and Girls Clubs didn't get such letters. So of the nearly 8 million loans approved under PPP, can you tell me how many preliminary or final conclusions of ineligibility SBA has made about any other nonprofit organization besides Planned Parenthood for violation of affiliation rules under the PPP program?
No, I cannot give you that exact number today, but I can tell you that we take seriously, I think, the import of your question, which is the affiliation rule needs to apply equally across the board to every one of those 8 million instances, and consistent with Mr. Ware, that's what we are doing, or attempting to do, and we're following the affiliation rule. And I share his concern that if folks are eligible, they should get funds, and if they're ineligible, they should not get funds.
So ideological perspectives have absolutely no place in this administration's decision-making, or the SBA's decision-making as to who should qualify for PPP. Is that right?
It was a little broad, Senator, because you suggested ideological across the administration. So I don't have that big a job, but I would say for my small piece of the neighborhood, yes, we are calling balls and strikes, which is applying the rules as they're set forth in the statute equally. Yes.
Yeah, and I think that I would like to know really the answer to my question, because you had 8 million in loans. I would like to know what other affiliated groups got this kind of letter that Planned Parenthood got. So I'm glad to know that you all are doing things totally on a factual basis. I do have a question about PPP loan forgiveness. This is for you again, Mr. Kelly. So SBA recently reported loan forgiveness numbers for PPP, and I'm encouraged to learn that 40% of borrowers who received loans last year have already received forgiveness. Can you provide a further update on the loan forgiveness process?
Yeah. So first off, I think I referenced in my testimony that roughly 40% of applications from 2020 have received forgiveness, and pleased to report that in excess of 99% have received full forgiveness. A couple of the limiting factors on processing forgiveness at the outset was manpower to process manual reviews related to requests for further action, to look at a particular file related to eligibility issues, for example, as we were speaking about earlier. And also the lenders themselves, being an intermediary or a middle entity, hitting the pause button to process loans related to this round of PPP originations. I think it was a huge step that Congress, in a bipartisan way, stepped forward and streamlined the process for loans under 150,000. And my office recently has deployed a tiered sampling methodology that reflects the spirit of that to expedite the clearance of these forgiveness applications on our end. But we're currently not meeting our mandate for the loans in excess of 2 million. There's a population of 30,000, and we are aware that we could do better in meeting the 90 days or less for that particular threshold, and that's what we'll attack.
Yes, please let the committee know what resources you need in order to meet your obligations to the PPP borrowers. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Hirono. We'll now go to Senator Rosen. I do want to again compliment her and her efforts